I'm Liz from Night Owl Crafts Australia, and this is my able assistant Tosh. Today we're going to be looking at beading and things that you can make with beads. Growing up in Africa, we were very much exposed to things that had been beaded, from beaded napkin holders to beaded necklaces. The Africans were very fond of beading, and I've got some examples of things that were done in Africa, one of which is this little netted mat here that was beaded around the outside to weigh it down and was used to cover jugs or bottles of milk or other juices to keep flies out of them. This one's in need of a little bit of repair work, which I'm going to be doing. It is about over 50 years old, so it's not surprising that it's up for a little bit of repair at this point. Other things that can be beaded, we have a beaded bracelet here. This one is using Delica beads by Miyuki, a Japanese beading company, and they're slightly tubular in shape and are woven to make a bracelet. You can choose your own pattern and colours to do this, and it makes a very effective and colourful bracelet. So this is the bracelet being worn, and it can be referred to as a cuff bracelet, and it's quite striking. Today we're going to be looking at how to make this necklace, which is made just from seed beads and has a spiralling pattern on it, not dissimilar to candy canes. To make this necklace, we're using an African helix form of beading. To achieve this, and I will use larger beads just to make it easier to see what we're doing, you need some beading thread, a needle, a piece of dowel or a thick knitting needle. To start the project, you need to thread 16 beads onto your bit of thread and then tie them in a loop and put them onto the dowel. The trick with this necklace is to keep everything fairly tight. Once you've got your circle of beads, you then want to thread onto your needle a pattern of 3 colours plus a contrast colour plus one of the original 3 bead colour. So we'll pick up 3 whites, one blue and another white. Oh, another white. So 3 whites, a blue and another white. From where you've tied the knot on the dowel, you need to count 4 beads along, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then bring the thread behind the beads and the thread that's holding them down towards yourself, and make sure that you've got it running between the 4th and the 5th bead. You may have to adjust it a bit as you get the thread smaller, and then pull it up tight. Once you've pulled it tight, we again thread on 3 of the main colour beads, in this case white, followed by a contrast bead, the blue, and followed by the original colour white. Thread those down the length of beading thread and holding it tight, again count 4 beads along, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and slip the needle down between the 4th and the 5th bead towards you. Gradually pulling it tight, you will need to just adjust the thread so it actually goes between the 4th and the 5th bead. They sometimes need a bit of assistance as the thread tends to twist, and pull it tight. We do this 2 more times. So 3 of the main colour, 1 contrast and 1 of the main colour. Again, threading it through onto the thread, keeping everything fairly tight and counting along 1, 2, 3, 4 beads and down between the 4th and the 5th bead, pulling the thread tight. Your thumb of your other hand is useful to keep that taut. And the final group of beads, so you have 4 groups of 5 beads. The final group will go down where the original knot was of the loop of beads. And pulling it tight again. That is the hardest part of doing this necklace, is just getting that first row in place. From now on you don't have to count the beads other than counting how many you're putting on your needle, but we continue with that grouping of 3 main colour beads, 1 contrast and 1 main colour bead. And it becomes easier now because once you've threaded your beads on, you will always put the needle down just before the contrast bead colour. So we continue in all the following rows, always putting the same number of beads in the same order onto your thread and inserting the needle just in front of the next contrast bead. So there's the contrast bead, and we're just inserting the needle just in front of it and pulling up tight. And we continue doing this until you have a length of beading that you require for your necklace. Again, just in front of the contrast bead, adjusting it so that it actually falls in the right place and pulling tight. If you've got your beads tight enough, you will feel the thread click into place once you pull it tight. And the trick is finding a piece of dowel or knitting needle that is just big enough and not too big or too small for your circle of original beads. We have here an example of one that has been started and is a bit further underway, and it shows the gradually building up spiral pattern of the colours. This one is done with seeds similar, or bead seeds the same size as the ones on the necklace here. You wouldn't normally use seed beads as big as these ones. And a finer seed gives a much nicer pattern and size to the necklace. To finish it off, just pass the threads through. Here I've passed them through a pearl bead. You may select something else, and then you will need to attach a clasp that you can undo in order to put the necklace around your neck. And this is a very simple beading project that provides a very effective and attractive necklace. With the bigger beads you can stop fairly short and make it into a ring instead of a necklace. This is another form of beaded necklace, and in a subsequent video we'll show you how to make this type of necklace. Thanks for tuning in and watching this video from Night Owl Crafts Australia. Tosh, the able assistant, is far more interested in edible projects. However, we may do a beaded collar for her in the near future. Thank you for watching again, and please remember to subscribe when you watch the videos and click the like button. Thank you again, and please remember to subscribe when you watch the videos and click the like button if you like. Oh, shut up.